Welcome, you're watching Vox News, your daily news updates with Rita Kamkumo. Our headlines today: Malawi's new president Lazarus Chakwera vows to clear corruption in his country in his striking inauguration speech. Ghana's main presidential challenger names a female as his running mate for December's election, a first for the country. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta announces the lifting of internal travel restrictions and the resumption of international flights. Our top story today: Malawi's new president Lazarus Chakwera was inaugurated on Monday in the capital Lilongwe following his hard-earned victory in the June 23rd election rerun. In his inauguration speech, the president vowed to tackle corruption and to implement measures to develop the country, which he said had endured decades of poor administration.
Before we can begin to rebuild, we must clear the rubble of corruption, for it has left our taxes in ruins. We must clear the rubble of laziness, for it has left our infrastructure in ruins. We must clear the rubble of pacifism, for it has left our rights in ruins. We must clear the rubble of donor dependency, for it has left our dignity in ruins. It is no secret that we have had one administration after another shifting its post to the next election, promising prosperity but delivering poverty, promising nationalism but delivering division, promising political tolerance but delivering human rights abuses, promising good governance but delivering corruption, promising institutional autonomy but delivering state capture.
The freshly invested president began tackling corruption, starting with parastatals during his first week in office. Last week, he dissolved the boards of directors at 60 of Malawi's 100 state-run organizations, whose seats have long been allocated to well-connected officials and governing party loyalists. For the first time in Ghana, a major political party has broken gender barriers and picked a distinguished woman as vice presidential candidate. Ghana's former president and main presidential challenger, John Dramani Mahama, named on Monday Jane Nana Opuku-Anyemang as his running mate for December's election, a game changer in the political landscape of the country. Professor Opuku-Anyemang, who served as Mahama's education minister during his previous presidential term, was unanimously endorsed by the opposition National Democratic Congress. The former president described the country's potential vice president as a God-fearing, conscientious public servant and a role model. Mahama, who ran Ghana from 2012 to 2017, is hoping to defeat outgoing president Nana Akufo-Addo in the upcoming presidential polls. After nearly 4 months of coronavirus restrictions that have brought the economy to a near standstill, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta eventually announced a gradual easing of movement restrictions on Monday, hoping to revive key industries such as tourism.
That international air travel into and out of the territory of the Republic of Kenya shall resume effective the 1st of August 2020, once again, in strict conformity with all protocols from the Ministry of Health, local, as well as international civil aviation authorities. Today I order and direct that the cessation of movement into and out of the Nairobi metropolitan area, Mombasa County, and Mandera County that is currently in force shall lapse today or at 4 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday the 7th of July, that places of worship will commence phased reopening for congregational worship and public, that is, individuals can attend worship, in strict conformity with all applicable guidelines and protocols, including the self-regulating guidelines that have been developed by our friends of the Interfaith Council.
However, the president extended the existing curfew in force between 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. for a further 30 days and warned that the easing of lockdown would depend on the evolution of the pandemic in the country.
In the next 21 days, we shall study patterns of interactions and the spread of the disease. Any trends that signal a worsening of the pandemic, we will have no choice but to return to lockdown at zero option.
President Kenyatta's announcement came after the population complained about the devastating impact of the coronavirus restrictions on businesses. The country of 51 million inhabitants has recorded just over 8,000 cases of coronavirus and 164 fatalities. Unlike Kenya and most African countries which have imposed lockdowns and curfews in response to the coronavirus pandemic, Burundi had taken few measures to limit the spread of the virus on its soil until now. After the new president Evariste Ndayishimiye declared coronavirus Burundi's biggest enemy last week and promised to combat the disease in an unprecedented move, the country rolled out a massive COVID-19 testing campaign on Monday in Bujumbura city. Residents came in large numbers to get tested, to the authorities' surprise.
I came here because I heard the call of the president on the radio. It was a great thing to hear. That's why I came here.
I came because I wanted to know the state of my health, to see if I have this virus, because it's too much talked about here in Burundi. That is why I came, to test and see if I have it.
We were pleasantly surprised by the response of the population because we had counted on 250 people per day in the 3 communes. But at 2 p.m. we have already taken more than 419 samples, which shows that the population has responded massively to the call launched by His Excellency, the President of the Republic.
The testing campaign runs in 3 testing sites equipped to welcome people looking to be tested in the city.
We have all the necessary materials, both for testing and registering people. And the preventive measures have been well prepared for, as you can see from the chair layouts which respect social distance, so that people don't contaminate each other here.
As of this Tuesday, the East African nation of 11 million people has only officially registered 191 confirmed cases of coronavirus and 1 death. In Zimbabwe, the police arrested on Monday about 10 nurses who were protesting outside of a hospital in the capital Harare to demand salary increases. The Zimbabwe Nurses Association asked its 15,000 members to boycott work last week as the country is experiencing galloping inflation and a surge in coronavirus cases, with over 700 COVID-19 infections recorded so far compared to 132 registered last month. According to the country's most significant nurses union, the average monthly income for state nurses had eroded from the equivalent of $800 in 2008 to $35 currently, which does not even allow them to travel to work. The nurses union called on all nurses to strike in support of their arrested colleagues to request their immediate release. Just like Zimbabwean nurses, health workers battling the coronavirus pandemic in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are demanding their financial rights. Kinshasa COVID-19 health workers announced on Monday that they are on strike until they get paid. They said they haven't received any salary in 3 months, despite the risks they take. They also denounced a lack of medical equipment and assistance in case of virus infection in their midst. Health Minister Eteni Longondo suggested to Top Congo Radio on Monday that the delay in payment is due to fraud, arguing that before proceeding to payment, names fraudulently added to the list of health workers fighting the coronavirus pandemic must be removed. This strike comes as the authorities announced the extension of the coronavirus health emergency on Monday for 15 days, the 6th extension since March. In Nigeria, coronavirus data is stirring controversy in the Cross River state. Doctors in the country's southern state went on an indefinite strike on Monday, demanding an explanation over suspicions that local authorities were concealing coronavirus cases in the region. Members of the Nigeria Medical Association decided to protest after the Nigeria Center for Disease Control published official figures indicating that Southern Cross River is the only state in the country with zero confirmed case of coronavirus. However, uncertainty began when the regional branch of the country's main doctors' union revealed that several positive coronavirus cases were recorded at a government-run hospital in state capital Calabar last week. State Health Commissioner Betta Edu said the state government had requested details of the positive cases recorded and insisted the authorities will respond. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari urged local authorities on Monday to step up efforts to find potential survivors of two deadly boat mishaps that took place over the weekend. 21 people were feared dead on Sunday when their boat capsized in the Benue River. On Friday, 7 passengers were confirmed dead in Lagos State when their boat sank following heavy rain. The president advised the boat passengers to adhere strictly to prevailing COVID-19 guidelines against overcrowding and night travel. Finally, a Nigerian self-taught dancer and founder of Leap of Dance Academy endeavors to bring ballet to Lagos' underprivileged children.
My years of understanding and reading about ballet, I know that ballet is actually for people who are actually who have money, who are from very high class, because ballet is expensive. And in this area, I know that we can actually afford the luxury of ballet or dance education. So I think it's actually a very beautiful art to introduce to our people here, because it will actually help them to know that this can be done also by themselves, by indigenous people. So I want them to be able to enjoy what is happening abroad or other places. And
every week, he welcomes dozens of children in his dance studio in the neighborhood of Ajangbadi to teach them the theatrical dance.
My dream is to make children around the world to be able to share the same dance experience, the ones that are interested in learning dance. I want them to be able to express their feelings through dance, and maybe one day I'll become a dance teacher too. I'll be able to gather children and teach them how to dance.
Daniel Ajala founded his academy out of his pocket and is proud to say that the lessons that he delivers to his 12 pupils aged between 6 and 15 are free of charge, just like the shoes and kits provided to them. That's it for today. Thank you for watching Vox News.